take that one with me.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. Any approvals, additions, or deletions of the agenda?
We need to add on what Maureen's texted us about today. About the ready to go. And
Honestly, I
don't think I have enough
didn't
information.
even get to look at,
Oh, okay.
I mean, I got it.
Because all she was looking for was one of us to go down to the State House for that. Yeah, the purchase for oil.
Yeah.
You know, just put that G.
And then if you guys wanted to add on everyone on the accounts.
So
Got that.
H.
On the teams, on the, for all the.
For their schedules and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any other additions or deletions? No. Has everybody had the opportunity to look at claims?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion on claims?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
On to department reports, clerk, treasurer.
So, on the list over here, we've got the ordinances again, for you guys to review. If you want to do that at some point. The parks and trails, I don't think we discussed it at the last meeting. I had that, but I think we got to it. There was a request, yeah, some different items that they had. I know they had talked about like the building, just getting the materials to make that smoother.
A surface sealer.
Right. And I think that was listed out there specifically at that cost.
Yeah. $240.16.
I know they made the reference in there about a blanket amount.
$500, we can do
Yeah,
that.
but if you guys picked out specifics and you have the appropriation report to see.
Well, we can take that down here. Then I can,
And then Heritage House, they reached out to me, asked for a letter of support for a couple of grants that they're looking to get on for themselves, not through the town. So I did write up a letter of support for them if you guys were okay with that. And then the Indiana waste invoice, I did not have this in claims. I was still waiting on their W-9 and since we had it when we were discussing it on the budget, it just got left out. So I just wanted to, it's a contract, but I want to just have it in here notated that to get that approved. And then the transfer resolution, some of that's what we had discussed with transferring, and then there was some other things. There's a transfer with MVH to go to a little bit of the payroll and the general just to help with the professional services in the general, since that one's going to need a little bit more. So alleviate some of that by just moving some of that MVH at this time. And then we didn't get into the water during that meeting, so there was some lines that need a little bit of help in that. I believe everything else was the line specifically that you guys agreed upon. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. Jordan, sir?
You guys got the list that's out for the phone numbers for
Thanks for grabbing that.
equipment, both want to see the lead flow, which is the model number, same time as the other. So, the big truck out of Virginia, the red square body over here, the Sterling, and anything else on that list. Sterling probably gonna have a fly there, because they won't fit anything else. So it's, the ferries policy has a request to move that fly over, but it'll go with that truck. I reached out to Brock with USG, he gave me an update on the water tower. He's coming to the next meeting to present the coatings that they could put on the inside of it. For all of our data is for the structural integrity. And he informed me today that there is any adhesion to the tower.
There's what?
There's no longer any adhesion to the tower, so if you were to paint any of the exterior parts, probably in plastic figures. But he's generating a report. He said he's going to Georgia this week, but he's generating a report and he's going to actually present down board with all the data that's found as far as the actual tower. I talked to Aaron Meredith at the end of the day. He said the toilets, I'm assuming all of the toilets, like Lionel Park and the new pickleball court, will be delivered tomorrow. So, I've instructed that get eyes on them and sign off that they're actually within town property. He said he didn't know when he was going to get to them. Couldn't give me a date, but he did say that they are being delivered tomorrow. Let's see. I'm looking on the CCR for 2026 is due June 1st this year. Luckily, we don't have to go to proper till next year, so I could take last year's rain count results, present that report to the public. I still need a couple documents from the town clerk as far as the 2024 meeting dates, to revise that and submit that to the state with the water loss audit in 2024. This will be a second revision for that. Some odds and ends, again, not necessarily deficiencies, but just staying within compliance. We're still doing E. coli 6 times a month since we started UV disinfection, and we're still doing polychlorine twice a month. We started doing some fire hydrant flushing, and then towards the middle of June, aflatoxin is really neutralized. What we do, that is a lab in South End. And we got the sprayer up and running, so we've been spraying some weeds. I think that's all I have on my list. I think Cindy mentioned something about pushing the construction meeting to Wednesday afternoon. So I won't be here Wednesday morning. So other than that, all of you.
Where did the weed spray?
So we did Academy, and then we did the lagoon. Actually, we emptied out what was in the tank because we weren't sure what the dilution was. So we emptied what was in the tank at the lagoon on the lane. And then we did around the playground equipment at the lagoon. We did the concession stand, the restrooms, and then the playground equipment that's out there. We did
At Rummel or
all that Friday.
Rummel or Academy?
So,
Huh?
so,
Oh, okay.
and then I talked to Don. He said he wants to come up, and he said in the past he would use the all for some chemicals he used it. He said he would use it like that. So we either both hit it or he's gonna hit it the second time around, but we should have plenty of chemical to last this first part of the summer. And I know what we emptied out of the lagoon's already starting to out, so I kind of wanted to get that purged out as best as possible so that we could start fresh with a mixture of like 1.5%. We didn't want to make it too hot and kill everything off.
And then plans for the square then
Yeah,
coming up.
then there's stuff actually starting to grow. It's,
Absolutely.
yep.
So is that in the next week or so? I've
As
heard,
long as the rain works out
I just was curious on a time for the square.
to get it sprayed.
Yeah.
Well, as long as the rain holds off, we can spray it anytime. It's just there's like nothing going around the trees at this point, but we can spray it anytime as long as the rain holds off for 2 hours. And it should take that. So we can dump it tomorrow if it's out of the rain. I don't know what the forecast is. 4 hours is set on the farm, it's 50% chance rain, if it's going in and slightly rain. So, but yeah, we can hit the square. Takes probably 15 minutes or whatever, now we've got everything working properly.
I don't think so.
You guys?
Yeah, I do. How's the leaf pickup and rose pickup?
So we've been knocking out, let's see, the last meeting we had 4 or 5 hours into it that week, and then 6 hours last week, and I spent 3 hours this morning. So we're still hitting some side streets and dead ends. There's still some potholes showing up, but I've been getting out and trying to get the water sample first thing out of the way so we can start focusing on other parts of that. Because sometimes we get pulled away for as much as everybody hates to hear higher priorities like residents not having water leaks or readings or something like that.
You've been doing a lot of water leaks and
We've had some issues with some consumption and some phosphorus leaks and things like that. So hopefully maybe Simeon can backpack in on that and kind of give us a little bit of an update what he knows. So we met earlier today and discussed a few different things. Potentially putting in some new meters to line up with properties that are adjacent to other properties for the old system and we could compare with it.
on your daily water testing, what time frame is that
to do that. I really don't have any
90
idea.
minutes. Between both of them. 90 minutes. Between both clients, yeah. Depending on what day of the week it is. So yeah, that's pH levels of both 7 and 10, and then we have to test dissolved oxygen. Days we take tests, we have to measure million gallons a day usage. We take raw and AM and PM, we freeze them, well, we have to freeze them from the fridge overnight. We can all test the pH first thing in the morning, mix them up.
So every morning, about an hour and a half is devoted to that.
That and water treatment.
Okay.
So, and yeah, as far as water treatment goes, that's basically, that's an everyday thing.
What are you doing, what's that entail?
Okay, so water treatment, we go through the chemical usage of what we've done in the past 24 hours, along with water usage, so phosphate, we're going to phosphate for corrosion inside the pipes. Your chlorine gas, which is your disinfection. If we have to do a backwash with the background filter system, we usually do about 500,000 gallons. On average, I think the town generally is between anywhere 70,000 to, I've seen it close to 142,000.
Is that your backwashing?
No, gallons of gas.
Ah, okay.
And so we're backwashing up to about 500,000, sometimes it gets to 600,000. We test all the different levels as far as your ferrous iron, we test your phosphate that we're using out of the plant, we test the monochloramines here in the shop, we test the total and free chlorine here at the shop in the well house, we test, the phosphate, iron, chlorine, basically in both spots. There's 6 tests plus your twice a week to the lab with wastewater, and that's 2 tests per day, basically. So, yeah, a good 90 minutes of a pretty green operator could use, could really need to get comfortable and do it for about 2.5 hours a day, and get to that 90-minute mark. So when you get dual certified, you're in charge of both water and sewer, so those 2 systems, your NPD, which is the sanitary system for your sewer and your lagoons, whatever treatment plant that you run, you operate, that is, you're in charge of that state designated number, or your PWS, which is your public water supply, that's your state, number, as far as 205 or 4 for the town of Rocky. Not much of it comes on there, we actually put it out in there, almost like the water tower the other night, because they didn't do it, so. But that's honestly good.
Anything else? Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Aaron?
I don't think I have anything new for tonight. I am gonna do the street lights tonight. I got, an updated mow list for Tina, today. Just to kind of keep you guys updated, Preston has worked some shifts all by himself now. I think we're probably a week or 2 away from having him on a separate rotation, so we have all 7 days covered. He's been doing great, with how he interacts with the residents and his report writing, so I'm happy with everything, so. It has been kind of busy, this month, so, summer's starting, so. But I don't think I have anything new to report this month, unless you guys have anything for me.
You guys? Fire department, the only thing I had was the conversation we had earlier about the keypad for the new fuel pump or fuel tank. I'll get him to mark out where he wants a pad. Once it gets closer, just dig the sod out. Yeah, it's gonna be on the south side of the apron. You just dig, it's gonna be big enough to fit a 500-gallon tank, not very big. So just scoop it.
On highway diesel.
What's that?
Is it on highway diesel?
Yeah. So it'd be dig that out and lay gravel for that pad.
I don't know if you need self-containment for something outside because only 500.
It's- I was gonna say, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I know it's double walled as well.
Yeah, it's still to see. It just, yeah, the 500 to go.
But yeah, I'll talk to him and have him mark that out. And we still haven't obviously sorted all that out, but just a heads up to you, that'll be coming down the pipe. That's all I have from them. Moving on to business guests, Simeon.
Thank you, Nate. I'll pass out just a couple pieces of paper tonight. I don't have that much. This is just a copy of what, Tina already published. I only have 2 copies, but it's just that fifth work change directive. There's also a disbursement. I didn't get to printing that or my normal memo that I gave you guys and from the field office. So I apologize about that. I'm gonna go through the list, and if you guys have any questions or concerns at any point, please just feel free to stop me. I'm gonna go through some construction updates since the last week, that Robert had did, and then after that, I'll briefly hit on some of the conversations that I had earlier today with Jordan and Tina, as they kind of correspond to the remaining construction items. And then I've just got 2 action items today. The first being the 32nd SRF disbursement, which is the Commonwealth, and then the work change directive number 5, which formalizes the decision made last Tuesday. I'm going to begin with the construction updates. So then there haven't really been any water main updates since the last meeting, besides that the water main abandonment was completed on South Howard Street. So the only remaining location of water main abandonment is on West Benton Street. Atlas is looking to commence that following their check valve removal. The meter and setter replacement is paused until the check valves are removed, which looks like will be sometime this week. I guess I'll hit on it right now. There's been I've had some discussions today with Tina regarding some zero read meters that have happened since the setter installation occurred, and we kind of reduced that to be potentially due to old meters and being sensitive to any sort of movement. And we've bounced some various ideas off each other, and while we're looking to formalize that decision probably with a field order, I think what we're considering right now is at first going back and replacing all the old zero read meters with new water meters that will be manually read until the voice system is up and running, which
How
we
many do
now,
we have?
there's 17 that were zero read. There were 22 total, but we reduced 5 of those to be from just thoughts, and then the other 7 were are presumed to be from the center installation. So we've installed, there's been 1 meter installed already. The one that
Do we have any meters?
there's been 1. There was a special occasion where it was installed and it's being manually read. It was just an access thing. The contractor was not to be able to safely or reasonably access it a second time.
When do we anticipate getting the new meters?
The new meters have arrived. So the meters are live. Yes,
Instead of, help me on this, okay, you know, you're gonna take these setters out.
Yeah.
Can we just do all of it at once?
so the original concern with that was just gonna be the clerical aspect. There was gonna have to our understanding originally, there would have to be manual reads of each and every meter until the entire new system was uploaded, but that's no longer the case. Tina and I have discussed it, and voice will be able to actually use both. So what we're gonna issue in a field order tomorrow is that for all remaining setters that are installed, the meters will also be installed with them, and then the final restoration will also be done in
So
conjunction.
you're gonna take those centers out or disable
Uh,
them? I wanna do it all at one time.
Yeah,
Instead
so-
of opening it twice.
Yep.
That's
So-
what we were gonna do, and that just seems not right.
Yeah, so, for the remaining setters, so I guess I'll back up for a second. I can get into this, I'll get into a little bit more detail with the work change directive, but the check valve removal has gotten a lot quicker than anticipated. They're actually already almost through with it. They've had,
'Cause I don't understand where you're opening and taking out the old meter, and taking out the,
Mhm.
and
the
then
check valve.
you're gonna put it back, and then later on, you're gonna go back to the new meter. And
Yeah,
why can't we do it all at once?
yeah, and I agree, I see what you're saying. I think
We're
the priority
we're paying
was,
somebody twice to do the same
Yeah.
work that they can do once.
yeah, and understood. I think the priority was to just get all of these check valves disabled. And they're able to do them really quick. So when they do the meters, they have to pull off the top lid.
I understand that.
With the check valves, they haven't. They've been able to just twist off the top and go in, which has allowed them to go really, really quick. Like they're almost done with it already. So it's been substantially quicker than we've anticipated. And the way we have the work change directive is, and again, I can get into this more with that item, but we have it written as up to the price. We negotiated a ceiling price with Atlas that can be negotiated down based on how quick it's gone. And based on how quick it's gone, there's going to be room to, with a minimal amount of time, basically just a week of time to set up to go down.
I understand what you're saying. But if we just do it every once instead
Yep.
of.
And that's what we're proposing for the
They've already
remaining
done.
centers. The
They've
remaining
already done
200 that go in is
Yeah,
to
if you
do
bring that
the
way,
setter.
that's a good idea to maybe do it once, because that is spending the money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's what we're gonna issue in the field order tomorrow is for the remaining setters. They'll be installed without the check valve. The new meter will be installed with it. And then when they, restore it all, they can do more of a final restoration rather than having to leave it, take the lid off and come back for those. So it's gonna be implemented to the remaining ones. And then, but yeah, that was the discussion today, was to optimize that better, and more importantly for you utilities, so they don't have these. early
I mean, if it caused trouble, and I'm just worried about if it caused trouble on some of these meters, go back in and mess with them again. The meters that you didn't have trouble with, maybe you're gonna have trouble with them.
Yeah,
That's why I suggest that you just put a new meter in when you're doing it.
understood. Okay, yeah, I can, yeah, I see, I think that's a really good point. So they still have check valves they need to disable. I can look into, having them check for the remaining ones.
Do we ever figure out why we have so much trouble with this? I mean, we talked about that
Yeah.
last week. Did you ever find anything out?
I did not. I kicked it off to Rob, obviously, my PM, to inform him of that question. Looking into it, I don't have an answer to provide at this time, so I apologize. I haven't looked into it. I just haven't gotten a good answer for it, but I will keep looking. I'm gonna make a note, if you don't mind, really quick, just about the, um, okay. I'm gonna move on to the restoration aspect. Final restoration has been beginning along the mainline portions of the project down through 52 and 55. There's still some punch list items that the contractor needs to deal with. Some of the various hydrants and valves that are not appropriately located, but they are beginning to do their grading. The silt fence will be removed once the restoration occurs, and then sidewalk replacement. I think Atlas has that scheduled to start next week or resume next week along West Benton Street and 252. They had a survey around today, planting some more stakes. And then the last item I have for construction is the service line replacement that will commence once all of the remaining setters and now most likely meters are installed. So yeah, just back to that point, given the new circumstance we have, being able to utilize voice for both the existing and new meters, we're certainly gonna utilize that the best we can to reduce the utility headache. So that was a lot. Are there any questions related to the construction items I just talked about? Okay. My first action item today is the 32nd SRF disbursement. It is for the month of March, in this year 2026. It's an invoice total of $65,715.00. I know I don't have copies for all of you.
I've got one.
Oh, you got one? Okay. Thank you for doing that. Is there any questions that I can answer about that document?
I don't have one.
All right. If there aren't any questions about that, I'm going to move on to the final item for the day, which is the fifth work change directive. This is formalizing the decision made at the meeting last Tuesday. In that document, it contains the specific requirements that were outlined for the contractor with the check valve removal. Let's see. I'll go over those specifics. All the valve components for the check valve are being stored and itemized. The contractors locating them and by address for any case of potential future use. So that is being stored, will be provided to the utility. There was also a demonstration performed by Atlas and which Jordan was present for, so that that was recorded as well, so that any future work with these check valves can be visualized. There's been photo documentation of the meter status before and after the removal. The contractor has not indicated, or has indicated that there will not be additional costs for retrofitting the remaining setters to be installed and following the removal of the existing check valves that are active. The contractor is permitted to continue the investigation and installation of the remaining setters without the check valves installed. And like I mentioned earlier, I know it's I need to be as quick with this as possible, but I'm going to call my team after this meeting and we're going to discuss the possibility of changing the meters on the installed setters that need check valves removed. And if we're able to reach a consensus with the town, the operator, and the contractor, we'll incorporate that into a fuel regulation tomorrow. And I'll inform you, we'll provide that document that we formalize at the next meeting. Are there any questions about the work change directive number 5? That's all the items I have for today. If there aren't any other additional questions, that's it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. Public comment. What?
There is also the check valve letter.
Are you
We're
gonna do that are you gonna table that?
We're gonna table that, yeah. It's, I think Bob is gonna present that next.
The next
I don't
one.
know if he.
Is that the letter Rob had? Or is that one you wrote up?
No, that's, that was provided for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to my understanding, he's gonna. present
Next
that
meeting.
Next meeting. It's, given these properties have the thermal expansion devices installed, we were going to prioritize removing all the other check valves first before we get to that.
I think,
And then, I've heard you talking about it earlier, but Marine called me before the meeting indicated that item is, about, does not need to be, the email she sent you does not need to be discussed tonight, or that needs to be added to the agenda. It was just an email she had.
okay.
So, sorry, if you guys tried to, had to force it onto the agenda, but it's just that.
Nope.
email.
We didn't,
No.
we didn't put it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you're good.
All right.
That all?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. On to public comment. Anybody have anything? I know you do.
I just wondered whose responsibility it is to mow down there on South Howard Street.
What location?
That grass down there, north of the ditch is just about knee high. Yeah, I know years ago there was an agreement a verbal agreement between the county and the town. I don't know what that agreement was, other than, the town does plow
Okay.
it, keeps it plowed out. But, the county don't even know it exists for the superintendent that we have now. He does not know it exists down there.
Right.
But it is these people need to finish their work on the west side of the street and patch the road where they pretty well destroyed the road with their equipment. But, I don't know, there is a sidewalk. Now, there is a sidewalk. There used to be a sidewalk that ran all the way down to the cemetery. And in front of the cemetery, they took it out in front of the cemetery. But you can still see the sidewalk there in front of that, farmer's field there on the north side of the ditch.
Right.
I don't know. Mueller voted last year, I think out of the goodness of his heart. He kept it cut and kept it looking like something. It looks terrible. You know, people, we have funerals going out there.
Oh yeah.
Somebody needs to pay attention to it and do appoint whoever's responsible for doing it.
Correct. Yeah, we'll look at who ultimately that belongs to,
The
and
ditch, you know, I've tried to get the ditch work going down there and the trees, cleaned out of the ditch. And it's gonna destroy that whole mess down there. That pipe's gonna get bashed shut when that one tree on the south bank falls. But, there again, I've had no luck with anybody at the county.
right.
And they all say, well, it's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
And so they said, it's the landowner's responsibility. And I think that north, well, that belongs to the cemetery
Right.
where that last big tree is standing. The other one, the second one is halfway down now. And it's gonna be in the ditch before long, and eventually it'll plug up the sewer, the overflow
Right.
sewer line.
Yeah, we'll do some legwork on trying to locate who's in charge of it and supposed to be taking care of it and go from there.
Well, you know, they used to have it, there was a gate that has been put up down there, I don't know how many times, a wire gate over that sewer overflow. The kids go back up in there, in the summertime when it's dry, they go back up in there, and that, I don't know what for, well, I can imagine what for, but, they have put it up, padlocked it, they tear it down every time they
Right.
put it up. But, you know, it could be a major problem for the town that, you know, lawsuit.
Right. Yeah, we'll look into it and see who's ultimately in possession and make contact with them, or if it's something that we ultimately need to take care of, we'll
It's
get
just
that sorted out.
that tall grass down there, really looks terrible. You know, I mean, it's, like I said, well, you can see it when you drive down there.
Right. Yep, I'll get on it. Anyone else?
They have no townwide cleanup this year.
So we had that discussion when Indiana Waste came in. Ultimately, we decided that we would have to play it by ear. I know tons of people have been setting stuff out for Indiana Waste. So the thought process is we did talk about, well, maybe we need one this year to help get the influx of stuff gone, and then Indiana Waste can maintain, maintain that by that one item a week being able to be placed outside. It's just one of those, we're gonna have to see kind of how things shake out. If there's still a need for it, it's something we can look at, but at the moment, we don't have anything scheduled. Yeah. Yep.
And I know they've only been 1 week, last Tuesday, but they were very generous about people putting out multiple items, and they picked up everything that was out there, so. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I think they're, we're trying to build a good relationship, and they were very kind to pick up everything everyone put out there. And hopefully, if we're doing that weekly, we won't need to put out lots of stuff every week.
Republic, go ahead.
I was just gonna say rolls of carpet, couches, just not appliances, which there are people who couldn't get those for free.
I know Republic's been slow to pick up cans.
Ours has been good, so we're not worried about it.
Right. But they are in the process of doing that and moving over by the Public Works building and getting those taken care of. It's just taken them a little bit longer than they had told us initially the night of bids. So we're monitoring that as well. Anyone else? All right. Moving on to old business, the NTAC proposal. That's something you guys had a chance to look at.
We can't fully do it right now, can we?
It'd be have to be something you guys would have to look at those additional items on.
Right off the bat, I don't think it's something.
I mean, I like the program, but I just don't think it's anything we can do right at this moment.
Okay. So do we want to make a motion on that?
I make a motion, we passed on it for the time being.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys have an opportunity to look at the rate study proposals. I know we had discussion last meeting about having them do both water, wastewater. Is that something?
And Klein Peter, I believe I gave you guys an updated.
Yeah.
Where he did state that would actually reduce it, instead of not to exceed 4,000, it'd be 3,500 if both were included.
So it'd be a
And then,
deduction rather than an
right,
increase.
reduction of, by adding both of them. And then also just reminded everyone that, for the water portion of it, at least as long as the project goes through, that could be paid for with that financing. The wastewater, obviously, that one would have to be looked at as.
Well, can I get a motion on the rate study proposals, either Klein Peter or Crone? And do you want both water and wastewater or just water?
I personally think Klein Peter for wastewater and for both.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance review, do you guys want to table that and look at that for next meeting?
Yeah.
That way we have an opportunity to go through it. I'm sure Ingrid did a great job. Right. Okay. Parks and Trails request, there was a letter from them. This is initially requesting just a blanket $500 for restroom improvements. obviously that's something that we can't just approve, give them. It's gotta be set items. In here, the only item that they have listed is the, paint for the exterior, which is the $240.16. So that, I mean, we can approve that, but we cannot approve just the $500 blanket for improvements to the town. Did you have something on that?
Yeah, I think I just gave you guys the front sheet, but the
Yeah.
rest of it has the, get them itemized, but
Okay. These were all, I think you requested these last meeting, just all the documents. I know it's
yeah,
not
just
all of
start,
it,
yeah. Contract wise, but at least the,
but-
and then, that you guys had agreed on getting those, the restroom down there contingent on that price and being, including the actual,
Urinal,
yes, and it did, so.
so that went through. I get a motion on the Parks and Trails request for the $240.16 for the paint
I'll make that
on the
motion.
walls of the exterior of the building. All in favor?
Aye.
And they're still working on getting contract stuff,
I'm gonna reach back out to Don and,
Okay.
get with him on.
just so we got that
information
documentation.
and have a conversation with him about
3,
the other things and how the grants and making sure that we're, yeah.
They did email us, they made, over $2,000 in the inside.
Nice,
Awesome.
nice.
Yep.
Good job.
That all goes to pickleball court.
good deal. All right, moving on to new business, SRF disbursement number 31. I get a motion on that.
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Um,
And can I get a motion on the work change directive number 5 that I passed down?
I'll make a motion for work director 5.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The resident letter for the check valves, I know,
We're gonna table that to the next meeting. That way you wanted us to do?
Yeah, I was doing that.
we'll table that. There's a letter of support. I don't know if you guys got to read it for Heritage House. Are you guys okay with that? And if so, can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion for the Heritage House. For,
All in favor?
Aye.
And it just wasn't in claims, but the Indiana Waste invoice for trash service that was passed down. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the transfer resolution that I sent down as well from Tina. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make that motion to transfer resolution to 2026-0518A.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving to G from added or additions to the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the purchase of the oil for the plant
Lower,
by Standish? What's that?
lower. The blower.
blowers,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
this
the
is for
blowers.
Oil for the blowers, and I'll make that motion that we don't go over $2,000 for oil.
All in favor?
Aye.
And number H would be adding everyone to the schedules for teams. That way everybody can be able to monitor schedules. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make the motion that we get added to the schedule.
All in favor? Well, I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any around the table concerns or comments? Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.